The movement is starting.
The beat. You know, everything is going to the beat. You know, everything is going
Who said charities had to be boring, relying on emotive appeals to get donations? Why not do things a little differently? Get people interested, get people involved, get creative, transform apathy into activism. That's our mission. Over the past 8 months, I've been documenting our efforts to promote the charity Invisible Children at Keele University. This is our story.
We had 2 screenings in October. We did have 2 screenings in October. We did indeed.
So that was great, kind of hanging with those guys, and I just said hanging, didn't I? That was great, spending time with those guys.
In 2003, Jason Russell, Lauren Poole and Bobby Bailey travelled to Africa in search of a story. What they found was a tragedy that disgusted and inspired them. A story where children are the weapons and the victims. On returning home to the States, they produced the original Rough Cut documentary, which exposed the effects of a 20-year-long war on the children of northern Uganda. Children who live in fear of abduction by rebel soldiers and are being forced to fight as part of a violent army. At first, they showed the documentary to friends and family, who all said the same thing: how can we help? Invisible Children was set up, and since 2003, the documentary has been shown to millions of people across the United States, raising awareness of the issues, raising money, supporting microeconomic programs in Uganda such as the Bracelet Campaign, and helping to improve schools in Uganda. In 2008, Invisible Children went international, as they attempt to inform and inspire the youth of the Western world to take action, to transform apathy into activism.
Guys, I'm stealing slow-mo. Alright, you guys.
Being creative in the way that we promote Invisible Children at Keele is one of the key ways we try to transform apathy into activism. We put up posters, held flash mob events, gave out free foods, and went on radio shows to promote the screenings we were holding in October.
At the university level, food has always been a big appeal. So if there's any way that the group on campus can acquire food and advertise that, because university students are always looking for a free meal.
Last semester we had 2 screenings, and before one of the screenings we had the failed flash mob.
The first flash mob was on the Tuesday lunchtime, and I had about 20-25 people like, yeah, we're going to be there, we're going to freeze. And then it snowed, as it does in the middle of October in Keele. And it rained, and it was pretty cold. And in the end, 5 people turned up. We couldn't film it because the cameras would have got wet, and we stood and got completely soaked. It was horrible. It was really bad.
So that was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But we bounced back. We had the 2 screenings that we had planned anyway, and they went down pretty well. We had one at the Controversial Film Society in the evening.
Get in here, it's so good. The movement is starting.
And then the next day we had one about lunchtime in the chapel. The lunchtime one in the chapel went really well.
Well, a lot of people signed, we had letters for David Miliband, and a lot of people signed the letters and we were able to send them off as like a protest about the lack of action done by the UK government. We got a response a couple of weeks ago, which didn't really say very much other than, it's really nice that you're involved.
And so we did the flash mob again after the second screening. There was most people that came to the second screening. So we just went outside onto the concourse and we did it, and it was great. It was really good.
People stopped to look at us and see what we were doing.
Even the squirrel got involved. It was just such a Keele moment, and this is what this whole thing is about, really. And so the squirrels are listening to us as well, which is great. so many societies and clubs and bars competing for students' attention at Keele and at all the universities, that we tried to do something a little bit different to try and get the attention of people. We went to student council and Sarah gave a speech basically talking about what Invisible Children was, what they try and do, and why we should have it as the RAG charity.
RAG Week stands for Receive and Giving Week, and each year at Keele University, 2 charities, one international and one local, are chosen. After exams finish in May, there is a week of events that take place to help raise money for these charities.
I had to stand up in front of like 30 people and talk about Invisible Children for the first time. Other than that, it had only been at friends or like people I knew a little bit. And I'd stood there and they'd already been quite negative about it. And then they all stood up and clapped and it was good. They really appreciated it and they really liked it. And because we had their support, the RAG committee were able to vote it on as the charity.
We had 2 screenings during March. One was a screening just for staff, and the other was a screening for everyone. The evening screening was a big success, with over 40 people attending.
Students at Keele, it's tough, you know? I mean, not necessarily just at Keele, but students in general. They'd rather be drinking or eating or sleeping, myself included, to be honest. But once they get involved, once they see the DVD, they want to help out.
Are you glad you came?
Baby.
Are you glad you came?
Very glad.
Do you feel inspired after watching?
I do. I just spent £15 on a bracelet and a DVD.
Nice.
So if that's what you call inspired.
And I'm going to tell all my friends.
Sweet. What did you think of the screening?
It was really good, and I mean, I'm not a politics student. I'm not normally I'm not normally interested in it. I am, but you don't normally get the chance to be interested in important issues that are going on. So it's really nice to have it. You know, it's so easy to come along to, and there's just not enough stuff like this.
I have counted quite a few people that have never seen anything to do with Invisible Children before, which is pretty good. I thought, because often it just ends up being the same 6 or 7 people coming back with one friend, and so I'm pretty happy about the turnout.
How did you hear about the screening?
Sarah Webster told me.
How did you hear about the screening today?
Through Sarah.
What kind of strategies did she use on you? Because she can be quite aggressive sometimes.
She used the strategy of, if you don't come, I'm going to be really disappointed in you.
That's a good one. Well, how did you hear about today's screening?
10 o'clock, From Sarah.
Did she use her aggressive marketing?
That is a lie. I do not use aggressive marketing techniques. Look at the people outside, they're not here.
Just an aggressive text message.
Sarah is a militant leader. She makes us do these things.
You could almost say it's like an episode of 24, as Sarah chases after her prey. But it's what's needed to get people interested, inspired and involved.